Hey, this is Keenan Fry, back with the LFG podcast. I'm here with my partner Amir, and
hey guys.
We also have a guest today, Erin. This is kind of cool because the last few episodes we were kind of split up. I'm getting through the end of my master's program. Amir's been doing some stuff, so the last few episodes have been Hetler Skettler, but it's really cool to also have our studio manager Paul with us. So this is kind of like a Full House episode. This is kind of a fucked up episode of Full House. If you guys have ever seen Bob Saget off of his live show, you know, he just goes off, and this is what this is going to be. We got the Erin Warren, the fucking space alien, and he's going to go off for a bit. Mir, you want to bring anything in?
Yeah, sure. Hey guys, really quick. So this is your host, Amir Moore. Glad to be back. As Keenan said, we're all in studio, including Paulie. Happy birthday, Paulie!
Thank you very much. Appreciate you.
It's Paulie's birthday as well, so we're glad to have him in the studio today. So I'll kick it off a little bit. So Erin, tell us a little about yourself. Like, where'd you grow up, and like, what do you like to do?
Oh, you never did the let's fucking go. I thought you were gonna announce it like that. Like
let's fucking go.
Yes, it's even better in person. I love That's such a great way to announce the show. It's like a strange roar,
Yeah, we definitely have
our boom, all enthusiastically.
We definitely Keenan definitely almost blew out his mic right there.
Oh, sorry.
All right, Erin. So tell us a little about yourself. Where'd you grow up?
There's a town near Capitola called Soquel, California. It's just on the northern side of Highway 1. I'm from there. It's a super small little town, but it's very lovely. Very natural feeling.
Nice.
Say so.
Nice. What do you like about it? Like, having grown up there versus I know you talked to us about living in San Jose.
It's like such a small town feel. Like, people drive slow. There's bike lanes. There's only like a few roads. You can just get everywhere you need to on foot or on
Yeah,
bike,
I remember you describing it like it's out of the 1970s.
That's actually what you said when I took you there. But totally it's true. It's true, isn't it? Like, in fact, if you go to other parts of Santa Cruz, we still have those old train signals that are just like swinging bells from the top of a pole rather than a crossing gate. Like, there's actually areas like that still. Where
it's a spot at a time.
It's weird.
So you're kind of like, I introduced you as a space alien, and you're kind of like that. I mean, you have always been the weirdest guy I've ever known. I mean that with a lot of love. I met you at San Jose State, and we had Wes earlier on the show, so shout out to Wes again. But where did I meet you at?
Theta Chi, I believe.
Yeah! Theta Chi?
No, I didn't. That's your words, man.
Theta what?
That's funny. Actually, Brad dragged me over to that house because I let him know, hey, I'm at San Jose. Like I go to school here, and he's like, oh, come over to this house. I'm like, oh, cool, okay.
So it's kind of funny because you're this Santa Cruz hippie space alien, and then I met you at San Jose, and it's kind of cool to now have you here. So. One of the things is you're here to also do some comedy also, right?
Yes. Yeah, sure.
All right.
I'm going to say some terrible things and some not so terrible things, and hopefully everyone will find it just funny, right? Because I find it funny, and we'll see.
So
see
Erin,
if any war crimes are committed today.
Yeah, exactly.
So Erin, tell us a little about what got you into comedy. Like, who inspired you to really get into it and be the funny guy that you are.
You know what? In high school, I saw a Jim Jeffries stand-up special. I guess I first saw it on, was it HBO or something? My friend had, he recorded it because he had the premium channel. But that was one of the most funny things I've ever seen in my life, right? he's a professional comedian.
Everyone remembers their first like legit comedy show they saw, their special. Mine was a George Carlin one. What was yours?
Oh yeah, Carlin's pretty good. Yeah.
Mine was probably, honestly, I think I actually started with Dave Chappelle.
Dave Chappelle?
Oh really?
Yeah.
Wow.
All right, Paul. What about you?
Okay, so my first one was probably one of the Dean Martin roasts on TV because they were always on TV and those always kind of caught my eye. But individual stand-up that really sticks out when I was young has to be like Richard Pryor.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's a
Live
funny
on
guy.
Sunset Strip was probably my favorite one, and still kind of holds up today. So
cool.
Yeah, when he set himself on fire freebasing, that was something else.
right.
I made a movie about that.
So that's awesome. You know, you always remember the first comedian that you really got into. You know, when you're with friends, like just crack jokes or like what's your modus operandi? I guess.
I mean, you're not wrong. I do crack a lot of jokes even when I'm with friends. It depends on the people I'm with and the energy that they have, right? Because it's kind of a funny thing. Like to be in the mood to crack jokes, I have to have like an excess of love to be able to make other people feel good, right? Like that's how I'm making people feel good. It's by making them laugh.
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
So if someone's really really down, it's almost like sometimes it gets sucked out of me, and it's harder to make jokes. You know?
Yeah, actually,
like, it depends.
That's a
right?
great segue. So how do you deal with Debbie Downers, like people that are heckling, especially? Like
I don't know. I try to cheer them up. I mean, I've never been
Well,
heckled per se, but
we both come from the Theta Chi house, and when I was there were 42 brothers. So it's like having 42 older brothers just kicking the shit out of you. So
no, it's not.
Oh, fucking yes!
Oh, some of the stories he told me, bro.
dude.
Man.
God,
Dude.
you got picked on a lot more than I did.
well-
Nobody.
Well, I mean, bro, you're 6'4", you're like huge. Who's gonna pick on you?
I don't know. Like
It's not that I got picked on. It's that you got to have thick skin and you get calloused.
Yeah. Sure.
And like that's like big bro night when they're fucking with you there, and like
that was great.
oh god, like PD pledge dance and like.
Well,
when
to
you
be
cry.
fair, Keenan, fair, they probably just wanted to see how much shit they could put you through before you blew your top.
Oh,
yeah.
fuck, dude. And like, I'm kind of high strung, but I remember when,
Go ahead.
it says,
Oh, you don't have to read that. No, I was listening. You're not supposed to say it.
Aaron, it says you got to jump off a cliff.
Yeah,
so,
we're hitting you notes in school.
I can only get so short.
Right. So,
now I'm within the green line.
you were always though at the Theta Chi house, and you were always like a just a maniac, and everybody thought you were funny as shit.
Is that what people thought? I didn't know.
Dude, I remember Matt Bragg. I remember Ben Little. I remember all of the bigger names. Kyle Schatzel, Flash Fong. I know they would all
Kyle
laugh.
Schatzel?
Yeah, we used to call him Kyle Schitzel.
Yeah,
Oh, did you really? Oh, that's funny.
I was gonna say,
Kyle
there's
Schatzel.
a lot of names that could go with that name. Damn.
Oh, that's funny.
I can say
What
that.
an unfortunate bastard.
Yeah, right.
Wow.
Hey, he was our president. He was our formal leader.
Yeah, he was a cool
our
guy.
great
Like,
noble leader. He was in my pledge class, so I can talk shit about him and so on and so forth. But they all thought you were funny as fuck, and they would heckle you, but it would just like water off a duck's back.
Yeah, like it didn't even matter. That's. I know they would try to make fun of me once in a while, and it just didn't work or something.
Because
You know?
you didn't give a shit.
Dude. Oh man, I have some great stories about that. I guess. That was pretty funny. Those people are funny. Like I haven't seen them in forever. I think Flash moved over to New York and
Dylan Sanders is doing well.
he's in Penn Valley.
Yeah.
Wait, is it Penn Valley or Grass Valley? One of those.
That's besides the point. He's
Yeah,
doing
yeah.
well for himself. But
Yeah.
but a lot of what I think was your start from when I met you was just like being in the Theta Chi house with 40 different people, hanging around drinking beer, trying to make each other laugh, talking shit, you know. and then you just being the weirdest fucking person in the room.
Really, that's what people thought of me? I was the weirdest person in the room.
It takes
on a regular basis?
It takes a lot of courage. I actually admire that about you, my guy.
Wow.
And don't feel bad right now because I think I'm the weirdest one in the room. So you're currently cool right now with me.
Oh, okay.
That's
Okay.
good.
Cool. That's good to know. You know. Yeah, I don't know. It was fun to make people laugh. You know, like why not? I mean, I wouldn't even always try. It's sometimes I would just say something like kind of not even joking, but it would be funny. You know, it just depends. It's
That's awesome.
Right.
Yeah, you know what they say, laughter is the best medicine. So definitely, to lift somebody up that maybe is, not having a great day, or they just want like some level of, being able to just let things out. Like, stress is always nice.
I think the only person who didn't know I was funny was Luis. Remember that guy who was hanging around, like the guy, like the older bro?
He was always angry.
Yeah, he was always angry and like calling people names, and like there was one semester where he was just like being like, "What's up, faggot?" Like just all the time to everybody, right?
Jeez.
And he didn't get the memo that like I make fun. I can make fun, right?
Right.
Like, it was so funny.
He was 5'2" Latino.
Well, yeah,
and
he was that short.
He was this tiny Napoleon complex, and he would just rip on you, and it would be like
left and right, just yeah.
It's like imagine you have a sunburn, and then somebody just takes sandpaper.
Aaron, tell me if I'm wrong about this. Okay, it's whether people or dogs. It's always the shortest one in the room that has always the most to say, and it's mostly bullshit. And you're like, why
I think that's pretty accurate, isn't it? That's pretty good. I think you're spot on with that.
I think he meant well by it, though. I don't want to totally rip on Louis.
No, he was a good guy. It's just, I didn't mean to like. Did I tell you that I totally like ripped him a new one at the end of a semester one time?
No, what?
Okay, do you remember how there's like that end of semester like talking shit about people in the paddle room?
Oh, that's
the
senior couch. Senior couch.
Senior couch.
Yeah. At the end of the year when the classes
we all
graduated.
gathered and we
Senior couch.
and we say what we liked about the semester and that kind of thing. He was actually up on the leadership panel. He was there with like Flash and Kyle and I don't know what position he held at the time.
I don't know.
But I was like, hey man, you guys are great. Like we can do whatever we want. And he's like, oh, can we take your pants off? And I'm just like, and by the way, I was like, 3 sheets to the wind at this point. I had been drinking
all night.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, no, I think it was like the middle, like maybe early afternoon or something. Like it was during the day, but kind
3
of
sheets to the wind.
Yeah. and I was kind of like pacing back and forth, and he's like, "Oh, can we take our pants off?" And I'm thinking about it. I'm like, "Well, no, because that's not what I want. That's what you want." And I just point at him, and everyone in the room just starts busting up laughing at him, and he turns beet red, like I fucking punch! Like he just got so pissed.
Oh my god!
I bet. Yeah, it backfired on him big time.
Oh yeah, I feel bad even like saying his name about that, but it's kind of funny.
Well, to be fair, I was also really high strung. I think everybody, when they look back on that, there's always a little bit of that.
It was funny. He obviously like didn't know that like, hey, I like to make jokes.
But
I wasn't even trying to make a joke. I was literally just like processing my thought, like, oh well, no, logically we can't because this, right?
I mean, but actually, that's a great segue though to another thing I wanted to ask you about is like, some people just don't get certain types of humor, right? Like,
sure.
So, it just doesn't get across. So like, how do you like what's your strategy for sort of getting them to understand where you're coming from with that type of humor? Like, is there a way, or do you sort of just have to let it go at a certain point?
It maybe depends on how easily they get offended. Like, it depends how thick a skin the person has, right? You can't always make someone laugh.
Yeah.
Like, there's people that I just can't really make laugh, but I don't care. They can, they don't have to watch that, right?
Right, yeah.
That's where you get your material also from, is like gauging the audience, and when they don't laugh, like the famous one is the Philly rant that Bill Burr does, "Fuck the Liberty Bell and the Benjamin Bridge." And like
right.
when people hate your guts, that kind of gives you even more fuel.
Yeah, well, I mean, he probably knew, like, okay, I shouldn't talk, smack about Philadelphia anymore. Was he in Philadelphia when he did that?
Oh God, yeah, dude, that was famous.
They're very patriotic, aren't they? In that city,
dude. They're a bunch of fucking. Bob Saget said it perfectly. These guys, or what was it? Bob Saget was talking about it on Joe Rogan, and he. I'm gonna go off on a tangent. It doesn't fucking matter.
Do it. I don't care. That's what this is for.
He says something to the effect like, "You all wear Rush T-shirts and you beat your girlfriends."
That's just what they're known for.
Yeah, that's how he describes the city of Philadelphia.
Dang. That's funny.
And Bob Saget is giving props to Bill Burr for it, and it's just like, oh fuck.
Yeah, but in all reality though, that is something to definitely consider when you're trying to be the funny guy in the room, as
sure.
you say, right? It's like you got to consider not only the audience but also like the brand of humor that you're putting across at the time, because that definitely makes a difference. And this is coming from a pretty unfunny guy, to be honest.
You're not unfunny.
Hey man, I don't know about that.
I have a sense of humor.
I do have a sense of humor, but it's grown over time. As Keenan knows, I think a lot of our friends would call me the straight-laced one in the room. So it's definitely, it changed since college for me. I think that's when I started to really understand humor more and not be the straight-laced, straight-A student from high school.
You got straight A's in high school?
Yeah, I was a kind of nerd.
This guy had like a 4.5 fucking GPA.
How's that possible? That's not even straight A's. That's straight A pluses.
Well, in AP classes, and then went to
anyways.
UC fucking Berkeley.
Wow.
Anyways, enough about me. Like the point is,
I'm like the opposite.
Yeah, I dropped out junior year and slept in my car for the next 3.
Oh wow.
So,
Oh man.
Well,
I thought I was the opposite.
You got all sides of the spectrum here.
Oh yeah,
there you go.
I was at the lowest GPA in my pledge class line. Remember how they line you up by GPA? I was like 3.1 or something. I was like, wow, man, you guys are all so good. Goody good students.
Yeah,
man.
it's okay.
Are you kidding me? 3.1. There were people barely getting a 2.0
in your pledge class.
Oh God, yeah.
Oh no, I was at the bottom. Everyone else was like had pretty good GPAs. I was like, wow.
At the end of the day, look, it goes like this. Okay, just because you're academically the best doesn't necessarily mean you're gonna be the best when it comes to the workforce, and street smarts play a role as well, right?
Okay, that's true.
So,
people skills.
Yeah,
and
also
sure.
honestly, having a sense of humor goes a long way too. Like the being congeniality, I think they call it, or whatever. Being able charisma.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking actually.
Yeah,
one thing I can also say to that is that I've noticed as a teacher, the kids who are the smartest are the ones fucking around, playing pranks and joking, because they're bored. They're
clowns.
Right?
Yeah, they're fucking smarter than everyone else, and they're like, "This is stupid. Why are we here doing this?"
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely. There's the good side of it, but there's also kind of like the you're being a little too straight laced, like get a sense of humor, like where's your funny bone sort of thing.
Yeah.
But
I knew people like that.
But yeah, like I was saying, like brand of humor I think makes a difference. All those things, and definitely I'm personally really looking forward to seeing what you're gonna bring to the table for us. I know the listeners are. Polly is so. Hey listeners, we're back from the break. We've still got our guest Erin here with us. And like Keenan said before, Erin is a resident space alien and comedian. He's a very funny guy. And Erin, we're gonna let Erin let it rip. This is gonna be a new thing for LFG. I think you guys are gonna really enjoy it. As I said, Erin's a really funny guy, and let's hear what Erin's got to say. All right, Erin. Well, take it away.
Yeah. Hello. I've liked comedy since about high school. Kind of thought it'd be fun to be a comic, but until within the last year of my life, I never fancied myself as sufficiently depressed to be a good comic. About 4 months ago, I started a job as IT help desk in Scotts Valley, and it had me a little concerned because up until that point in my life, all my humor, with some rare exceptions, has been a bit offensive. You know, like I come up with a lot of terrible things, and at this workplace, it doesn't even, I don't even have to restrain myself. It doesn't come naturally anymore, right? My jokes are all even keel, and so I'm thinking like, man, every day I'm turning into more and more of a ghost, just getting paler, immersed in fluorescent light all day with no windows. Now I'm turning into a sissy too. Like, what is becoming of me?
Right.
Is this job worth it? Like, but what it is that my humor actually is reflective of the energy of those people around me, right? Because all my coworkers and the clientele I help are all really kind and cooperative people. For example, one of the jokes I came up with is I was working one day and my desktop background turns black, and I didn't know this at the time, but we have remote control software that we use to remote into people's computers, and this is an effect it has, is it'll make their background turn black. So I turn to my coworker and I'm like, hey, what's going on? What gives? And he goes, oh, that usually means someone's watching you. And I think about it, I'm like, oh yeah, someone's watching me. Well, hey, what if I just open up a notepad and type, do you like what you see? And just
snooping.
Just to mess with them, because it's like, if you've ever used a computer before, or you're doing that to someone, or you're watching a YouTube video and you see that happen, what do you expect to happen next? Shock video, right?
Yeah,
like
right,
that's a very
right.
loaded statement.
Well, also it's like it's like when people tell you cover your webcam, right? Because somebody can watch you through the webcam.
Yeah, look away. Like, I mean, but seriously, it's so I actually typed it up and just left it there for 5 minutes just to mess with my boss. Like, why not? I got hired from temporary to full-time recently.
Congratulations.
I was through a staffing agency for the first 3 months. And so, yeah, thank you. And of course, my boss calls me in to talk to me about it when they hire me on. Actually, I shouldn't say to full-time. It was to regular status. I was always full-time. But she says, Erin, we like the work you're doing, and we just wanted to keep you on as a regular employee. And I go, oh, so it wasn't just because you couldn't find someone better within the time frame, huh? Just.
Oh my gosh.
And she liked it too. She cringed. She's like, yeah. I used to like the job a little more because I could get away with more. Sun, as you might imagine, is a valuable commodity to me in this line of work. So on my lunch break, I made a habit of walking down the street shirtless to get tacos at the taco truck. That's what I would do. I'd go, because you have to dress off as casual for this job, and so I'd walk out of the warehouse and take off my shirt.
You just walk down?
Yeah. I work at the end of a cul-de-sac, and so there's like a bunch of like production facilities in a warehouse, and I'd just walk down shirtless, and just to maximize my sun time, right? But it's accurate to say that I am and have always been a food-oriented guy. Like, I take food very seriously, okay? And one day I was really hungry, and I walked very briskly out of the warehouse with purpose, right? I'm going to lunch, and I just like get out and I whip off my shirt and I start running down the street, talking rather loudly to myself, like, I'm gonna get fish tacos! Woo! Come to me, the tacos! I was not fucking around. They were every bit as good as you might think from, seeing that.
Tell me the truth. Did people think you were homeless?
Well, that's a great question. Let's hope not. But somebody noticed. I can assure you that. Somebody noticed.
If you were an SF, people would have definitely thought you were homeless.
Oh my god.
Someone totally noticed because I finished up my lunch shirtless, of course, like loitering outside the warehouse, and my boss calls me in to talk to me about it. And I go, I was wondering when I might offend someone by doing this, right? And she goes, oh, I don't know that you offended someone, but HR fed it back to me. And so, I'm thinking about this, and I was like, oh, well, very clearly there's like some pasty old grumpy person in HR that just saw me and was like, oh, how dare an employee of our company have so much fun, even if he's on a break. I'm stuck here in this miserable cubicle
Some pasty,
environment.
pot-bellied HR.
Yeah. Like, just like, oh, he's having way too much fun. We better take him down a notch.
Yeah, that's the definition of negative Nancy right there.
Yeah. I don't know if it was HR or like a manager. It was, but because they would have fed it back through HR anyways, right? So I've evolved. I strategize now, right? I have to be sly about it. I walk down the whole cul-de-sac with my shirt on to the T intersection, turn the corner, and take my shirt off and go get my food.
Oh, I thought you were going to say I take my pants off now.
No, not.
So you basically
That's another step in evolution. No,
Where's Louise?
So you basically wait till there's so you basically wait till there's no cameras and no tangible proof that you took your shirt off.
Or at least till I'm out of sight of the main buildings of this company, right? So I go get my food and just stand on the sidewalk shirtless and usually barefoot eating my lunch, right? That's how I'm dead serious too. Like, this isn't even it's funny, but it's just like a true story too.
Oh jeez.
And it gets worse too. Like, I can't believe this happened, but one day, like, a cop was like watching me from like the intersection, like kind of a block down, right? And then he pulls up to talk to me about it and gets out of his car and starts with, "You're not in trouble."
But
Don't run.
Well, I just reply, I'm like, oh, then you just pulled up to have a nice friendly chat with me like you would anyone standing on the sidewalk, is that right? And he's like, well, I got a couple calls about you, right? Someone said they thought they saw a badge and they thought you worked at this company, and I was like, gee, I don't see a badge, officer. Do you see a badge? He's like, nope. And he said someone else called and said they saw you peering into car windows, which I also did not see. And I was like, well, I wasn't doing that. This is the first sunny day we've had in weeks. Yeah, I'm getting some sun on my lunch break, right? Like, that's all. That's all that it was.
I bet you the person that said you were peering into car windows, they were the ones peering into car windows.
I have a feeling I know who it might have been. Like, it's just, there's some very uptight people around there. Like, maybe that's why you don't see a single homeless person in Scotts Valley, like, anywhere, because the cops must just be on them like flies. Like, anytime someone's really homeless and makes themselves visible, there's probably some bitchy little neighbor that just calls up and be like, and says, "Hi, yes, there's someone who doesn't look civil or rich enough to be in this area. Please remove them."
There's a homeless shirtless man.
No, Erin, they don't even have to do that now. Next door, they can just go on next door and be like, hey, everybody, guess what? Here, word of advice to everybody: watch out for this and this person. This is what car they drive and stuff.
Just stick the neighbors on them. Just they don't even have to call the cops. Stick the local neighborhood on these people.
The Stepford wives.
Yeah, right. Oh gosh, God. That's funny. Oh man. Yeah. So like I said, my humor used to be really bad before this job. I mean, have you ever had such terrible thoughts that you kind of like start to wonder, like, geez, is there something wrong with me? Should I be laughing at things like this?
Yes. Every day.
I mean, yeah. Normally I just write off such a notion, but sometimes my thoughts get really bad, and I was like, oh man, like it makes me wonder. Right? For example, when you have two Down syndrome people that reproduce, what's really happening there?
Doesn't that cancel each other out?
I don't think so. You're going to hear why in a sec.
Oh, jeez.
Well, what, the offspring's almost guaranteed to be a Down syndrome person also? So you might have a handful of people that say, "Oh, isn't that darling? Two two downs can find love in the way most of us want. And look, they produced a deformed-looking baby that's going to be a burden on society for the rest of its life, with a flattened face and almond eyes that slant up or something, you know. But what it really is, I don't think it's cute. What it really is two depressions breeding more depression into this world. You know, I think the only positive aspect is that when two downs reproduce, it's the ultimate double down.
Ultimate Debbie Downer right there.
Yeah.
No, double down.
Double
like
down.
like as if you're gambling, but it's you know, Debbie
God.
Downer ultimate. Oh no, you know. There's still two more jokes. No need to feel down, right?
I see what you did
He
there.
slams us on the ground and he picks us back up.
I
It's
see.
Isn't
not
that a
nice.
great follow-up? Like, just
Oh my
I
god.
see what he did there.
Fuck you. Keep going. I'm gonna throw the water cup at you.
No, I'll throw the Down syndrome baby at you.
Oh god,
Oh,
that's terrible.
Scoop him up first.
That's all it's good for, anyways.
All right,
That's
all right,
horrible.
keep going.
So maybe about 9 months ago, my ex-girlfriend and my friend and I are getting Chinese food before he leaves for Washington one last time. And it's a really upscale Chinese place that he's like for, you know, one of his favorites. Good staff, good people. Girlfriend brings her dog. And it's a hot sunny day, and we're like, oh, what do we do with the dog? You know, should we leave her in the car? Can she come into the restaurant? Should we bring her in? Why not? And, you know, I walk away and I think about this. And then I was like, I come back and I'm like, wait, you guys, I know why the dog should not come into the restaurant. If we bring the dog in, the staff is going to look at her as food.
Okay.
That yep.
It's like bring your own bottle to the restaurant.
It's so terrible. I can't even say that with a straight face.
BYOD
It's so
in
messed.
this case?
Bring your own dog. Oh man,
Oh god.
that's horrible. No, it's oh, what was I gonna say with that?
Yeah, to all the dog lovers out there, this is where you tune out.
All right, I don't give a shit about the dog lovers. They bring their dogs everywhere. They can go to hell. All the people with the support dogs.
I like dogs.
Oh,
I don't like.
man.
I've
I
never
like
eaten-
dogs, but support dogs are no longer in the dog species. They're like this burden that everyone
Okay.
else has to
Okay,
deal with.
you guys all. I'm sure you all can tell that was just a joke.
No,
Because I
you-
did.
you
Yeah, no.
That's serious.
You would never really have to worry about that in this situation. I'll say it was an upscale Chinese restaurant. Isn't that terrible? I can't even say it with a straight face. It's stupid. It's so messed.
Oh man.
This last one's how I know I probably am a bad person, right? My ex-girlfriend and I, we like dark chocolate, and I used to get these, what is it, dark chocolate lovers, extreme 85% Trader Joe's chocolates, and it's something like that, and they're good. They taste like they have vanilla in them, but they don't really have vanilla. They have natural vanilla flavor, which if you know what that means, it can mean fuck all under the FDA guidelines. It can be some terrible thing they extracted from a beaver that just tastes like vanilla, right?
Okay.
And it can. And as long as it at one point existed in nature. And so I tell my girlfriend this, and then suddenly it makes her head hurt to eat the chocolate, right? She got her head in a tizzy about this. And this chocolate isn't greenwashed or anything. It's not like Rainforest Alliance certified or Fair Trade certified or, you know, whatever. So I bring it home one day and I'm like, hey, honey, you want some chocolate? And she looks at me and goes, I don't want your sad chocolate made with orphan tears.
Oh jeez.
And we both start busting up laughing about this, right? Because, yeah, I don't know, you know, we know it's probably true. They didn't say it wasn't made with orphan tears. You don't know.
Delicious orphan
Yeah.
tears.
Yeah, like you don't want to know how a lot of the products you buy actually are made. It's not meant to be known by the consumer. And so we're laughing about this, and I ask her, I'm like, does it make us bad people to laugh at this? And she goes, Probably. But it doesn't phase us in the way you would think. It just makes us laugh harder, right?
You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't.
Yeah. And so I say, fuck it. I triple down on this. I open a bar of chocolate and take a bite, and I'm like, oh, I can taste the orphan tears in this. So
you know what they say, if you can't beat them, join them.
Yeah. Well, I already bought the chocolate intended for eating. I wasn't going to throw it away. That's really in vain for...
Sir, bring me the orphan tears. I wish to salt my steak with orphan tears, not regular table salt.
Yeah, right.
Oh, that's the...
Yeah, so,
right.
so long story short, it tastes good to be bad sometimes, right? Like, sometimes it can feel good to be a bad person. Like, I don't know. That's a little bit about me.
All right.
Yeah, most of those stories were...
All right, listeners, you heard Erin talking about orphan tears, about his job and how his sense of humor evolved or devolved in some ways. And so anyways, if you want to hear more from Erin, we'll definitely give you that information and hope you all enjoyed it. And let us know what you think. We are gonna go on our second intermission break now, and we will be back with the last segment for this episode. Take care, everybody.
Like 5, 4,
It's like shaking its
3.
head like, oh my gosh. Think you just...
This is a fucking train wreck. So, Erin, what are you doing right now, buddy? What are you doing? What did you just do?
I just took my shoes and socks off just to get some air,
Okay. So this is what I'm talking about. So we get in the fucking car, and Erin comes over to my house, and he gets in the car, and we're driving up to SF, and he's like, "Hey, so I'm just gonna walk around barefoot." And I'm looking at him like, dude, do I have to fucking explain to you, you can't walk fucking barefoot in San Francisco? Like, back in the 70s, when the shooting galleries were open, you couldn't, and it's basically back to that. But now it's like People's Park over in Berkeley where they had all the needles in the grass. Now it's just fucking needles and glass everywhere. And this guy, he's like, I'm just gonna fucking take my shirt and shoes off and walk around. And like, this isn't just like a one-time thing. Like, so this other time, me and Aaron's a fucking maniac, and he rides this bicycle, but he rides his mountain bike like a fucking maniac. And we go down this BMX trail, and it's me, Dane, and Erin, and I'm like, okay, I can do like some BMX. I got like a street bike. It's like legit a fucking trail. This is the one that goes towards the Garden of Eden. You showed us.
Yeah, well, you can get to it from there, but it goes towards. If you split off, it goes towards Highway 9. We split off to go to the Garden of Eden,
right?
But you can go back towards Golf Club Drive.
See, this is why you have somebody like Erin in your Rolodex, is because he knows all the local spots in Santa Cruz. So if you haven't heard of it, Garden of Eden is like this amazing watering hole. Why don't you describe it?
Actually, we didn't go to the Garden of Eden. We went to a better swimming hole just south of the tracks.
No, but we walked. Yeah. We walked past the garden.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like you found the even better spot, because when we went to the garden, there was like
way too many people. Yeah,
there was like 200.
Dane and I all kind of checked that out, and we're like, oh, there's too many people.
Yeah, there's like 200 people hanging out down there.
It makes sense. I mean, no shoes, no shirt. People think he's Adam, right?
Anyway, so we go to the other spot, but we're riding on this trail, and we get off of the trail, and Erin's like, hey, so we need to go to a restaurant because I got poison oak on my hand while riding on the bike.
Yeah, and I don't have a shirt on at this point, right?
Right.
We were biking down the trail shirtless, which is my normal mode of operation.
So I'm pretty sure at this point I'm like, okay, Erin's got to be completely covered head to toe in poison oak. This guy probably like jumped off his bike and rolled around in it like a fucking dog.
I just had it on my hand.
On my hand, yeah.
That's still
fucking maniac. So we go off, get onto the main highway, and we're riding down, and I think, what was it, a Wendy's? It was a Wendy's.
A Chipotle.
It was a Chipotle.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So he's got no shirt on, no shoes, on a bike, and he's about to run into the fucking Chipotle.
I thought I had shoes
or
on.
maybe you had shoes on this
I did.
time.
Shoes and shorts. It was
shoes
just
shoes and shorts.
That's all.
But you were gonna run in shirtless into the Chipotle and say, "I got poison oak in my head. Let me use the bathroom." And he's just gonna run in and do that. And I'm like, dude, everyone's gonna think you're trying to rob Louis. Nobody move. I'm gonna give you poison oak. And I'm like, Erin, you can't just fucking run into the goddamn place. So anyway, it's just like, you're the fucking craziest dude I've ever
I think, yeah, you're right. You said I can't run in, so what? I walked in, I think.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You fucking... And kind of politely was like, can I just wash my hands? Like, just...
I mean, fucking...
I mean, I've done worse, man. Like, well, kind of. Like, one time I was being overconfident on that trail where it was still like a double track, like as wide as a car.
Yeah.
You know, up near the top of the.
They've got the ramps up there, the big dirt ramps that are like 10 feet tall.
Yeah. Well, they were no, they're small. But I went off one of these things that was like maybe I've never learned to go off jumps correctly. And you know my bike, it's not a jumping bike.
It's a road bike.
Yeah. But it's my all-purpose bike. I do everything on it, so that's what I take on the trail. And I go and I try to go off one of these jumps and just like Superman off my bike and land at like a 90-degree
on your armpit.
Yeah. I did, like just boom, straight up. And God. I'm not like I don't do yoga all the time, so I'm not the most limber person.
Oh God.
And it just like I almost felt like it dislocated my shoulder, and I was just like bloodied all the way up and down. Let's see, on my leg even, and on my ankle. And I still have this was like fucking a year, like 9 months or a year ago. I still have the fucking raspberry on my elbow.
Oh my God.
It was terrible. And so like I get back up like shaking and. You know,
because your body went into shock.
Yeah, my friend and his girlfriend were riding with me, and
they probably thought you broke your shoulder.
Yeah, they were concerned. She's like, here, like, do you want some ibuprofen? And I'm like, I just take a couple pills. I'm like, pills. I'm like, yes, okay. Better than nothing. Give me the drugs. Someone else came along and with like a little bit of ace bandage or something, you know, and we like wrapped up the worst like bleeding part of me, right? And because it's like, well, I still had to get down from the mountain. I was all the way up in the middle of fucking nowhere, not near a car, right? So we just start biking again. Going just a little bit slower than I ride normally, because I'm a little shaken up from this, right? So
I'm sure in your head probably you were thinking, where's the policeman helping now? He should have been here now instead of before.
Yeah, right. No, I mean it's just look, I've biked in remote enough areas. I know that you have to get back up after you fall down. It doesn't even matter, like, what the circumstances are. Like, oh, my ankle's broken. Fuck, okay, let's get back down to the car and go to, what else am I going to do?
Let me tell you something about that. You know Miles Harris, right? Mm-hmm. Miles, when he was 17, was training to go into the Navy. He was a Navy corpsman. He wasn't a Marine. He was a Navy corpsman. And he was at an airsoft course, and he literally separated his Achilles tendon.
Yeah.
And he was wearing combat boots.
Oh,
so,
yeah, you told me this.
So the boots, the way they're wrapped, have so much pressure on your ankle that you can stabilize your ankle. So he kept playing airsoft with a ruptured Achilles tendon, running around, and he played for like another 45 minutes. And then he like took it off, and his foot just
yeah, like that was some serious swelling right there. Oh my gosh!
Oh my gosh! Wow! Talk about an image right there.
Oh man!
I mean, yeah, I was biking down this mountain, and like literally drops of blood are like flying off the side of me.
It's just a flesh wound.
Yeah. Well, I biked past a group of bikers, like right where it's turning to Seagull Track, and they're all just like, yeah, like they just see me do this. They liked it. They're just like, wow, good job.
It's like, a badass mentality, right?
Like,
yeah.
Dude, you still have to get down to the car. Like, I'm not gonna.
But that's like a life mindset. It's like if you're doing comedy and somebody's fighting you, you got to fight through it. I'm going through school. It's tough. I got to fight through it. You know, Amir just got his next job.
Yeah, definitely. Unemployment is a fight too when you're fighting through the depths of being unemployed. Yeah, for sure. But yeah, Erin, you talked about, so I like that we've talked about like some of the stuff you like to do outside of being the funny guy that you are in terms of biking.
Yeah.
Are there any other things you enjoy doing?
Yeah.
I know you talked about nature with us too.
Hiking and playing billiards, actually.
Oh yeah, the first time I met you, we were playing pool.
I'm not nearly as good as I used to be. I used to be like very practiced and be able to pull off like ridiculous shots, you know. Like there was one time where I think it was down 7 balls or whatever, like, you know, someone was on their 8 ball and I just came back, I cleaned the table, just boom, 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 and then like, you know, made the 8 ball in just like that, like all 7. But it's I don't know, it's just, yeah, it's a fun thing. Right?
Nice. Yeah, because I mean, part of also being, a funny person and, being, comedic guy is also, at least most of the ones I know, and they're also very good at, they find ways to, find things that other people do, and, either they do those sort of things or, they find a way to schmooze in, basically.
I mean, I've been playing since I was young, man. Like,
So it's natural to you, is what you're saying.
Billiards? Yeah. I've been playing that a long time since Fast Eddie's in my town was like my old stopping grounds, you know? And so it's fun. Like, why not? Like, I'm very good at foosball too, actually.
Oh, foosball, nice.
I like to play that too. And it's not too many people like to play.
I've played with, I used to play with my best friend, Drew. We would play a lot, and like we'd call our match actually a Clash of the Titans because of the fact that we both would go so hard in the game, and we're both ultra competitive.
Actually, I think my first the first time I was at Theta Chi at night, I played a match with like Boogie and
Boogie Daniels,
Daniel, yeah, and Gordo and like Christian or something.
Oh,
right?
hey,
Evan, one of those guys were pretty good. Some of the
1 second. How did he get the name Boogie Daniels? I want to know.
Oh, that's Keenan can tell you.
Oh,
that.
he's a DJ, and he. I don't want to know. I don't want to go too far down the rabbit hole, but he was a distributor of certain specific illicit substances.
Oh, I see.
That's not why. No. Actually, I remember hearing the story. It's like I think one time he was dancing with a chick in Theta Chi, and there was someone was like, Boogie.
There's
Boogie.
two
like,
chicks.
He was getting down. He was
that's
what it was.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the name's actually Daniel, so we call him, Boogie Daniels. Yeah.
Because that's a great name.
It's a great name. It's like something you would see on like a liquor bottle, right? Like,
it's like Jack Daniels, Boogie Daniels.
Yeah. 40 of Boogie Daniels.
Yeah.
Malt liquor. There you go.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
No, it's awesome. Like that's
40 ounce of Boogie Daniels malt liquor.
Guaranteed to get you 2 chicks in one night.
Yes, I love it. That's awesome.
All right, we got to move on to our last segment now. So we're gonna come back in just a moment.
Okay. Good stuff.
There you go.
Whenever you want, man. Just get back in the shot.
How do I know if the camera's on?
It's on.
Oh.
It's been going the whole time.
No lights. Camera. Action. No, I just wanted to say that. That was
Fair enough.
I thought it was fun.
So say who you are.
My name is Erin. Maybe you'll recognize me from the other podcast this is going to go in. But I came up with this joke the other day. I think it's kind of funny. So I bike a lot, and you might see me reseat my dick as I'm biking here and there, because there's a good reason for that, right? If I'm sweating, well, if my thigh's sweaty, it's rubbing against my dickhead on one side, and what that results in is by the time I get home is I have a sore ass dick head on one side and a useless head on the other. Right?
You get dick chafing?
Yeah, well, it's like, think about it. They're both sweating, and so it's like, well, yeah, one side becomes like sore and useless. And then when I try to rub one out to go to sleep that night, like, it doesn't work, because if the two sides of the head don't work as a team, I can't expel the necessary regret to sleep.
Regret.
Yeah, right? Because that's what men are full of being a man. It's just like, yeah, I'm full of regret. Oh, all right, fine, now I can sleep. That's the way we do.
That's so true.
The other day I was watching the Scotts Valley 4th of July parade with my friend Dane, and we were trying to meet up with another friend who'd been there. So, you know, I call him up and I'm like, you know, he's like, hey, what's up? And I'm like, oh, you know, me and Dane here are just watching a parade and, you know, just marveling at the slight variation of whiteness all around us. You know, I kind of thought, and I told him, you know, I think I've seen like 2 ethnic people here the entire time, like a Asian and a Middle Eastern person. We kind of thought we would see at least one black person in the whole crowd and the whole parade. And my buddy goes, oh no, you missed them. They were all in the parade. And I'm like, yeah, because the city probably rounded them up to parade them around as a heritage cultural diversity exhibit.
Oh my God.
So a lot of people feel like they need health insurance, it seems like, and to me that's astoundingly pessimistic. It's like, if you think about what health insurance is, really is, you're placing a bet with an insurance company against your own life. Like, bro, I'm sorry, I'd rather bet I'm gonna live and not die prematurely unless I utilize this overpriced institution. You know, if you go to bet on a horse race, are you gonna pick the horse that looks like it's gonna keel over and die? Not unless you had insider knowledge that someone fed it cocaine, right? Like, fuck no. No, you pick the horse that looks like it's gonna win, right? Through a bookie that you know is gonna pay up, not something like an insurance company. Like, what the fuck? People are so ingrained in this kind of, you know, mindset of, oh, you need it. No, you don't need it. Just take care of yourself. It's not that hard. You know, man, I feel like that might get me in like a lot of trouble someday. Like if the insurance CEO ever found out about it, I would just have an army of insurance actuaries storming my house. Like, get him.